Hunter Biden's defense team will go to work this week in his trial on gun charges.
Madeline Rivera is with us this morning from Washington to break this down. Madeline, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Anthony and Anita. Good to be with you.
You too. There's already been a lot of testimony about Hunter Biden's drug use. Yeah. Do we think Hunter will take the stand, and how do we expect his team to defend him here?
So we shall see. They've been mulling over this possibility over the weekend, Hunter and his defense team weighing the pros and cons. And look, on the one hand, if he does testify, he could share with the jury his frame of mind in October 2018. He can talk about what he was going through during that time. He can argue that he was sober after undergoing a stint in rehab and therefore wasn't lying when he filled out the federal form to buy a gun and checked no regarding to a question about drug use. But at the same time, if he does take the stand, then obviously that opens him up to cross-examination, which is a risky prospect and something that the defense certainly had to weigh over the weekend. So we will find out this morning if Hunter does take the stand. If he does testify, then the prosecution has indicated that they could call a rebuttal witness. If he doesn't testify, then things could move pretty quickly. Closing arguments and then jury instructions and then jury deliberations could begin as early as this afternoon. So a lot to watch out for.
A lot to watch out for, and I feel like we've been watching a lot already because, of course, we went straight from the former president's trial, the hush money trial, right into Hunter Biden's trial. Do you think this is changing any minds, or how important do you think this is to people, these trials?
Yeah, one historic trial to another historic trial here. Hunter Biden, the first son of a sitting president, to be facing a criminal trial. Now, in terms of how it might affect voters, we shall see how this affects President Biden politically. Personally, though, it is a bigger issue for him because, as we know, President Biden is very close with his son, Hunter, and he has been speaking with his son. According to reports, he wanted to speak with his son pretty frequently throughout the course of this trial. We know that it will weigh heavily on his mind. He also has said, though, that he will not pardon his son if his son is convicted. His campaign going to the lengths here of trying to draw contrast with former President Trump, who, of course, as you heard him, after he was convicted, he railed against the justice system, saying that this was a product of political persecution, saying that this was politically motivated. President Biden trying to take on a different tone, saying that the rule of law should be followed. And of course, he is trying to maintain that that outlook, saying that he won't pardon his son if he is convicted. So yeah, but as for how it will affect the election, that's up in the air.
In terms of that conviction, the possibility of a guilty verdict here, what kinds of punishment are we looking at if you're Hunter Biden?
Yeah, if Hunter Biden is convicted, he faces a maximum of 25 years in prison and $750,000 in fines. No, you know, a lot of legal experts have been discussing this, and they say that Hunter is in a friendly territory. He's in Wilmington, Delaware, which is obviously their hometown. A lot of people know of the Bidens in that city, so they say that this could be friendly territory for him. But, you know, at the same time, we also know that it only takes one juror to it only takes one juror to disagree with the rest of the jurors, right? And for you to have a hung jury, and you know, we shall see. But he does face some pretty significant consequences if he is convicted, Anthony.
Yeah, and similar to the former president, it's not his only trial that he has to worry about. Okay, thank you, Madeline Rivera.
You got it.
Appreciate it. All right.